Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Dixon, and I'm going to be reacting or giving my own analysis on a video I found concerning why men are avoiding marriages. 6 reasons why men are avoiding marriages by Helen Smith, Ph.D. So let's give it a watch. Please watch till the end and give me your thoughts, and let's go to it.
Today, more and more men are choosing not to go to school, not to get a job, and not to get married. If similar numbers of women were doing the same, someone would raise the alarm. But since men are the ones opting out, the problem has been mostly met with silence. Some books say that men are just a bunch of lazy, stoner frat boys who are acting immaturely. In reality, men are acting rationally and opting out of education, work, and marriage because in all of these areas, the penalties are high and the rewards are low. Each of these areas has its own problems and is important in its own right. But for now, we'll just look at why men are avoiding marriage and fatherhood. The first reason that men don't want to get married is that they'll lose respect. In the past, a man wasn't considered a true adult until he was married and had children. Today, however, husbands and fathers are the butts of jokes, and the media constantly portrays them as buffoons and bumbling idiots.
And this is very true. If you watch most advertisements, sitcoms, or whatever, the father is always the idiot in the whole thing. The Simpsons, Family Guy, different kind of movies, Modern Family, adverts. There was this, I think it was a Samsung advert where they were making fun of the man, that if a man could actually operate this machine, then it is actually easy. It was a washing machine kind of advert. So I was like, are they saying men are too stupid to even know how to use the washing machine? My question will be, who invented the washing machine?
The second reason is that they'll lose out on sex. Men who cohabitate with their partner but aren't married have much more sex than their wedded counterparts. Recent
It's a sad thing, but it's real. Men are not getting enough sex when they are in marriage. In the cumulative, not. You get what I mean?
studies have also found that cohabitators are happier and more confident than married couples.
But at the same time, just because you're having sex doesn't necessarily mean you are happy. But if it's a metric, then yeah, there are many married people who are not having sex, and they are just there because they are keeping face. And it's a sad reality, and most men see these issues and they are opting out.
The third reason that men don't want to get married is that they could lose their children and their money. Men are aware of the dangers of divorce, specifically that the courts tend to favor mothers. Men only get custody of their children 10% of the time, and overwhelmingly are responsible for paying child support and alimony.
So this particular issue is not unique. It's not prevalent in this side of the world. I stay in Nigeria, so divorces are handled casually, and the state doesn't get too involved. I'm guessing the people who have more legal prowess will tell me that that is not the case. The woman is more protected. But in this case, in our own situation, men still have breathing room. But in the West, in the US, they are treated like criminals whenever there is a divorce, and most of the laws favor the women. And it's a sad thing, and I'm more or less having some form of pity for my guys over there.
The fourth reason is that men will lose their space. Once a man gets married, he's relegated to the dirtiest part of the house, the attic, the basement, the garage. The entire
Again, this particular aspect is, I would say, it's unique to the western side of the world. In Nigeria here, you get married, you don't get relegated, you are a man. So we still value masculinity in this side of the world, but in their own place, it's more or less like the woman takes over and the house becomes unbearable for the man. So he ends up looking for different corners of his house to take over instead of bearing the lady that he just brought into his house.
entire house is supposed to be a shared space, But the rise of the man cave means that the home is increasingly becoming the domain of only the wife and children. The fifth reason that men don't want to get married is that they can lose their freedom. If a man gets divorced and can't afford child support, he can get locked up. On any given day,
It's sad that the government will put you in jail for you not being able to support your child after you've been divorced. Because in most of these cases, when a man separates from a woman, the woman goes to look for another person and the man goes to look for another person. But she asks for the custody, and the man also has children outside and he still has to support his own children when he's been denied access to take care of them. I feel if child support is supposed to be given, it's supposed to be given by the custodian of the children, and not I will favor the woman, then I will also request child support from the man that doesn't have the right to see the children. So it seems a little unfair, and I'm guessing that's why the guys in the West are crying.
there are almost 50,000 people in jail due to child support arrears, most of them male. For example, in
50,000.
Massachusetts, 96% of the people incarcerated for unpaid child support are men.
Whoa. Wait, so there are cases where the women pay child support, but in most cases, it's the man that gets beaten.
The final reason that men don't want to get married is that the single life is better than ever. In the past, single men were looked at with suspicion, but this is no longer the case. There are plenty of 40-year-old bachelors. Employers look favorably at
And this is one thing I really wish women understood. Marriages are not necessarily beneficial for the man. It's more or less sacrificial, because when we are having children and supporting our family, we more or less have to put our lives on pause. We can do without it. We will die off, I know, but we can still do without it. But for the woman, she needs the security of marriage to have her children and to be taken care of. She needs it. A man doesn't need it. When you get knocked up as a woman, you take care of the child. But when a man wants to be promiscuous, he can knock up thousands of ladies and not take responsibility. I'm not advocating for promiscuity, but I'm more or less reflecting, or rather showing, that it is possible for a man to get all the benefits of marriage outside of marriage. But at the same time, you cannot you cannot pass on your legacy without marriage. That is the only benefit a man has. So we should not add too much problems to that passing of legacy that he is trying to do, and make this institution that doesn't really favor him that much, we make it harder for him to enter into, or us rather.
employees with non-conflicting family responsibilities. Dating has gotten easier, and premarital sex is no longer taboo. On top of this, there's more to entertain single men today than there was in the past, with video games, cable TV, and the internet providing diversions not previously available. To recap, men are opting out of marriage, in addition to education and work, at alarming rates. This isn't due to laziness, but due to rational choices where men no longer see the value of participating in these areas. People respond to incentives, so if we want more men to marry, it needs to be a more attractive proposition.
Yep. Like she said, if you want more men to marry, you have to make it attractive. Men will not get into things that would not benefit them in the long run, or will more or less hamper their future. So I don't really blame my people in the West for not getting married, although I want them to, but the situation is too hard for them, and the laws are not favoring them in any way. But there are some unique cases where you will find the right person for you to share your life with. It is hard. It's a very risky lottery, and that's where God comes in. If you have a lady that fears God the same way you fear God, then you are working towards replicating the church as a family. So the husband and his wife, just like Christ and the church. So if you are not religious, you will not understand what I'm saying, or rather, if you're not Christian, you will not understand what I'm saying. And you may look at me and say, ha ha ha, all those Christians that I'm seeing that are getting divorced, we are all humans. The Christian walk doesn't say we will be perfect. It's more or less like when you find that person that is chasing after Christ, just like you are chasing after Christ, then your marriage becomes a project to work on, and not just something you think will bring you happiness and also help you to spread your seed. No, it is a process, it is a sacrifice, it is a dedication that you have to make. And I've seen this in practice in many of my mentors' life, many people that I know, and it's working out fine. Whereas people who just want to live their normal life and not to glorify God in their life, their marriages more or less just die out and fizzle out and just get destroyed. So there is hope, and it's in Christ Jesus. So that's me signing out. If you don't agree with me, if you feel I'm saying nonsense, please leave your comment down below. Leave a dislike, like it if you like it, share it if you want to show someone why men are opting out of marriages. And you can also check out this channel for Helen Smith. I will leave the link down below the video. You can use that to get to her channel. This is Dixon signing out. Bye bye.